Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today we're going to be covering our very next profession, and that is going to be blacksmithing. Now, when we talk about blacksmithing, it's kind of sort of a dark horse profession in Classic, you know. Not many people go it. It has an absurd amount of materials it takes to level it, as well as the cost of those materials vary per server. So on some, it can cost upwards of 500 gold plus to level blacksmithing from 1 to 300. And what makes blacksmithing so unique is once you hit 200 blacksmithing and you're level 40, you have the option of choosing a skilled path to go down, and those are armor smithing and weaponsmithing. And I already have a video on how to do that. I did that when I actually covered this guy and did it myself, because I was very, very lucky to get the Lionheart helmet pattern, which is one of the only reasons to level a blacksmith. But anyway, there are a lot of things with blacksmithing. It's super niche. And since Warrior is actually the second most played class in Classic, Warrior and Mage swap pretty regularly, but I do believe there are more mages now just because pretty much everyone has a mage just for farming gold and whatnot. So we Warriors specifically use blacksmithing a lot for a lot of pieces of gear, and those pieces of gear are what make it worth it. However, those pieces of gear are locked behind usually 300 blacksmithing, as well as some form of reputation or specialization or questline or a super rare pattern. Thus, I wouldn't personally recommend going blacksmithing unless you either have a guild to help you get everything leveled, get all the stuff you want, or you have a very lucky experience and you're able to get some of these super rare patterns such as Lionheart Helm, Stronghold Gauntlets, Titanic Leggings, and those super good patterns that are really worth it and a lot of people go after. But anyway, we're going to get into it and sort of take a look at just general blacksmithing. I am a blacksmith, and I find myself pretty much making Lionheart helmets. It's really the only thing that I make. I got this pattern. This is one of the hardest patterns to get. Right now, the fee that everyone with it is agreed upon now is about 50 gold. If you're one of the first people on the server to get it, you can charge upwards of like 300, 200, 100 gold per helm. The first person to get it on Horde here on Scarum made well over, like he had like 40,000 gold in phase 1. That's how ridiculous getting that helmet recipe can be for that person / guild / whomever, however, and all of that. I do find myself attaching a lot of things, and that's super unique about blacksmithing, is in order to use sort of the enhancement pieces like a steel weapon chain or I was hoping it was a miscellaneous, but stuff like the rods, like people who are enchanting, they want to get these rods made for them. You can even make keys if you want. The Arcanite one's not worth it. I find a rogue at that point. I have not tested if true silver skeleton keys will open thorium lockboxes at 225. I'm looking to test that and let you guys know. I just haven't gotten up to mining true silver yet, so I haven't really made any of those. But things like attaching mithril spurs, it requires 215 blacksmithing, steel weapon chain 190 blacksmithing, and iron counterweight for 165 blacksmithing. I find a lot of druids are asking for this to be put on, as well as I'm finding almost every warrior has some weapon with a steel weapon chain on it, just so it can't be disarmed. I do those daily. Honestly, people are asking because they see that I can make Lionheart, so they just PM me and they're like, "Hey, could you attach one of these for me?" Everyone has a writing set. I very rarely I do attach thorium shield spikes to some shields and stuff. And the best part is you don't have to have the pattern to make these things. Some of them you learn, obviously, but steel weapon chain is actually a really tough pattern to get. You apparently fish it up, as well as it's a rare drop in Scarlet Monastery. So if you're lucky enough to come across that, definitely sells for a lot of money, as well as they're like 9 gold per on my auction house right now. I actually just had someone, before I started making this video, ask if I could do it. I was like, yeah, I can do it. Do you have the chain? Turns out I didn't have the chain, and none were up on the A8. So they did get put up there just a little bit ago, but it's just crazy to me. Like, I didn't know how rare and elusive this was, because before that, everyone had just traded me it and asked for it to be attached. They didn't ask for me to make it. So just something like that. And then, as well as elemental sharpening stones, if you're lucky enough to get this recipe within Molten Core, I believe is where it drops. You can make these for 2 elemental or 3 dense stones, and everybody wants these. They look for someone who can make them, or yeah, they're just really, really good. So if you are lucky enough to be a blacksmith in MC and get that pattern, you can make a lot of money selling those as well. We're just going to double check real quick that is a drop within Molten Core. I hope it is. I believe it is, but I could be wrong. Yeah, there it is. Elemental Sharpening Stone. It's a BOP pattern. Alrighty. But furthermore, let's get into the nitty-gritty part of choosing Armorsmith as well as Weaponsmith. So me personally, I decided to choose Armorsmith because I got the Lionheart Helm pattern. I didn't have this guy. I literally leveled this guy at 240 and made him an Armorsmith because I had that pattern and I wanted to make the most use out of it. It was about phase 2, I think, is when I got it. A guildie actually got it, and I made a really good deal to trade with them and barter with them in order to get it, and it just worked out really nicely. It was Not Forgotten who's in my guild, so huge shout out for working with me and helping me get that and pay him back after. But yeah, he was just a really nice guildie to do that, so just wanted to give him a shout out there. Hope he sees this video and appreciates that, because he let me pay like 500 gold up front for it, and then 1500 later, once I got the helm up and was able to start selling it. We didn't have one in guild yet, so that was a huge appeal for me to try to get another one of the rarest recipes in the game for the guild and sort of make sure we could have that in guild as well as helping other people. So I just wanted to thank him for that. But anyway, let's get into it. So Armorsmithing comes with it. It has no other specializations. The quest line, it's pretty complex and long. I have a video on that. I can leave that in the comments if you guys are interested, sort of how to become a weaponsmith or armorsmith. The quest line, the initial quest line is the same up until a certain point when you have to pick whether to go armorsmith or weaponsmith. I did not get the weaponsmith part done because I chose Armorsmith, but you can see the Armorsmith and just everything you have to craft and sort of that. We won't go into that. But some of the biggest things, as I mentioned, are Stronghold Gauntlets, Titanic Leggings. These are Armorsmith. Like, you need to be an Armorsmith in order to make these, and they're super huge. And then the next set piece that I find people really seek is the Dark Iron set. Now, the Dark Iron boots, bracers, glove, helm, leggings, and the Dark Iron plates all are things that you can get from Reputation with the Thorium Brotherhood here. As you can see, there's the Dark Iron boots at Exalted. At Revered, we have the Dark Iron gauntlets, as well as some weapons, and we have the Dark Iron leggings. Those are here too. And then the Fiery Chain Shoulders, you can make those, which are good for Shaman if they want an FR set, so that's also another good reason. And then you also just see a ton of actual blacksmithing patterns here with the Thorium Brotherhood. at friendly, honored, revered, and exalted. So just sort of showing you guys all these patterns and where you can get them and why people want them is for an FR set, which is so important for tanking in MC as well as BWL. And that's where a lot of the money comes from for those. I'd imagine Stronghold Gauntlets as well as Titanic Leggings are from rare drop things like 63 plus mobs, as well as Eternium lockboxes, just sort of those rare pattern drop places in order to get them. And if you're lucky enough, people do ask for them and want them to be made, so they are patterns worth investing in. Every pattern that I have invested in that's sort of big and huge and worth a lot, I have made my money back. Like, no lie. You just have to put in the time, be on, and sort of be willing to make stuff. And then we come to Weaponsmith. Now, Weaponsmith comes with some awesome weapons. The biggest one is Nightfall. I would recommend being an Axesmith unless you specifically want to be a Swordsmith or Hammersmith, because you're asked by a guild. It's an alt. I have seen people wanting an Ebon Hands. We actually, like, this dude was looking for like 3 weeks on our server, spamming chat every single day, looking for someone who was a master Hammersmith. That's just how much it's like. Ebon Hand is really the only thing that you would want, and I'm not even sure why they wanted it. I'm not too sure on the use at the time. But they did want it, and I'd imagine if there's a want for it, then, you know, go for it. Be that niche person. You still have access to applying all those other earlier things that every blacksmith can do. But I would say Axesmith has the best because of Nightfall, Annihilator, Arcanite Reaper. Those are just the 3 big ones. Every single weaponsmith does get access to sort of daggers and polearms and stuff like that, such as Black Fury and Black Amnesty. Those are 2 pretty good weapons that you see here. We just passed it, I think. Yeah, there it is. It's a revered weapon here with the Thorium Brotherhood. A lot of these are Thorium Brotherhood or rare drops, so keep that in mind. And then if you have Swordsmith, the Blackguard's a pretty good sword. I'd imagine this is more Alliance, because Alliance gets humans, and humans get sword specialization and mace specialization, which makes a Hammersmith and an axe or a Swordsmith so much better on the Alliance opposed to the Horde, which really focuses Axesmiths because orcs get axe specialization. So that's sort of why you would want to go to each of them and sort of craft those things. There are a few other things that are craftable just because you're a weaponsmith, but I haven't seen many people sort of demanding these, really wanting those, sort of to give you enough reason to commit to that when you can just be an armorsmith and have so many set pieces. Now, with AQ coming out, this is a huge opportunity to mention all of the blacksmithing pieces that you will be able to get come AQ opening. I'd imagine it would be stuff like the heavy obsidian belt, the iron vine belt here, and that's just with friendly. Once you get to honored, you have the light obsidian belt as well as the iron vine gauntlets, and then we come here to revered, which would give you the jagged obsidian shield, which I think is a pretty good shield there. But more importantly, something that I know we'll be selling is the iron vine blessed plate, and these are going to be so huge because melee are going to be soaking the nature damage boss for Princess Huhuran, because she has a mechanic that requires 15 people up in front of her to be nature resisted and to sort of take a hit from her. So it's going to be so important that melee you're getting that, meaning warriors and rogues for the most part. So leatherworkers, when we cover our leatherworker guide, I'm going to mention that as well. But just something to keep in mind. As you saw there when we hovered it, it takes enchanted thorium, blood vine as well as some living essences to get to make those pieces. But more importantly, it's the rep behind it. You know, I'm still grinding. I'm almost honored on my mage. Just have sort of been leveling this dude because I actually want to get a dark iron set and be able to make more of those pieces come AQ, and just sort of, you know, I'm having fun leveling. I'm not actually paying for people to boost me and carry me in Marden. I've just sort of been questing, and it's nice to go back to that, you know. Obviously, you can pay and get boosted, but it feels good to sort of invest the time and get rewarded for sort of working your butt off and playing a class and actually sort of enjoying that type of play style. Just something that I've been sort of doing. But anyway, guys, just wanted one final note. I won't have a video Sunday. This is going to be Saturday's video, but Sunday is Mother's Day, so please, 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 whether you are a mother or you have a mother, which I'd imagine everyone who's watching this has a mother, you should definitely take the time to thank them, put in the hard work for all the hard work they did. I honestly wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing every day without the support of my parents and my mother. And I would tell you what I got her, but she watches these videos, so I would kind of give it away. But I got her something awesome that I really hope she'll enjoy and like. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to say that and make sure you tell your mothers happy Mother's Day on Sunday. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to get back to you. Alrighty, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. It truly means a lot to me. If you happen to find anyone that you know would also benefit from watching this video, please, please, please share it with them. It helps me out a ton and allows me to keep doing what I love every single day, and that is gaming and sort of helping people any way that I can. So finally, thank you so much, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Goodbye.